a lot of people asking me, should you sell Tesla to buy SpaceX? Here's my answer, okay? If you're into SpaceX and you're into Tesla, then you know what's going on with Tesla. I mean, look, I'm in the Tesla right now. It's driving me. This is the investment, guys. And they're delivering the investment. So we've waited all this time to get to this point, and here we are, right? And when you think about all the things that are coming up soon from Tesla, Robotaxi rollout, Optimus Gen 3, the Terra factory that they're committing to with SpaceX and XAI, the AI 5 chips, you know what I mean? Jesus, like so much stuff, Cybercab, so that's all happening. When? Who knows? Elon, if you are an investor in Tesla, you learn quickly, Elon's timelines really don't matter. Whatever. Like the things are happening, like you can see it. I tell people all the time, like, if you're an investor in Tesla and you're serious about it, and you wanna understand what you're investing in, you gotta buy a Tesla. That's why I bought this car. I bought this car because I was investing in Tesla. I wanted to see if what my investment thesis was real. It has blown my mind. Guys, I hate driving. I hate it. I love going places, right? I love taking trips with my wife and my family and going to all these cool little places, but I hate driving. And I don't have to drive anymore. And it just makes it so freaking awesome. You know what I mean? And so, and then once you kind of like understand this and you get one of these cars and you're investing in a company and you see how fast it progresses and gets better and better. And it does weird little things sometimes, like it's not perfect yet. It'll never be perfect. But neither are we as drivers, you know what I mean? But when you see that, you realize, like, all right, this is the investment, and the whole thing is AI driven. That's it, so, and I talk to people all the time and I'm like, and they ask me, they're like, how can you let the car drive? How can you trust the car? I mean, think of all the things we trust in our lives. These same people are laying in bed for 2 hours every night, doom scrolling on TikTok, trusting the hell out of that Chinese Communist Party algorithm to not try to brainwash you and feed you crazy things, right? I hate Trump, ice out, and to the flip side, I hate Joe Biden and, America's great or whatever, you know what I mean? So like, well, America is great. I don't need to be brainwashed for that, but you get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So we trust all this other technology, man, and then don't sit there and be elitist and tell me about the Instagram. I use Instagram. It's the same algorithm, bro. It's the same thing, right? So we're trusting that AI. These are the same people that were like, oh, I'll never get a smartphone. I never want to have a phone in my pocket. Like, you get a phone in your pocket. Eventually, everybody is just going to adopt this technology. I'm 100% convinced of that. You know what I mean? Our grandkids won't ever need a driver's license. Right there, just did something weird, right? There's a school bus turning, it sees school bus and immediately wants to just slam the brakes. School bus has no lights on, but it wants to slam the brakes. Again, that's one software update fixed. You know what I'm saying? These are the edge cases. But getting back to my point, I don't think our grandkids will ever need a driver's license. You know what I mean? Like, kids being born today won't need a driver's license. And it'll come to a point that, just like everything else, right? Like, the pain of change has to be less than the pain of existence for people to make change. So how does that relate to full self-driving? It comes down to, like, one day your insurance is going to be like, look, you can keep driving, but your insurance on your Toyota Camry is $7,000 a year, okay? Or you can buy a car that drives itself and your insurance will be $700. And guess what most people will do? They'll just get the self-driving car and be like, God, why didn't I do this sooner? You know what I mean? So that's the inevitability. And what we're seeing right now is the execution of that. We're seeing a company that is literally executing it in real time. Years and years and years and years of development and building this stuff and perfecting it, and they're about to execute. So why would you trade that after you've waited all this time And listen, don't get it twisted. SpaceX is doing and will continue to do amazing things, right? But where SpaceX is in their trajectory is where Tesla was 4 or 5 years ago. You know what I mean? So why couldn't you just stay on the Tesla horse and ride it, let the SpaceX horse do its thing, and eventually when the SpaceX horse is at the point that Tesla is today, and Tesla's way up there, do a rotation then. So what? Maybe SpaceX doubles in that time. Fine. But I think Tesla in that same time could triple, quadruple, 5x, 10x. Who the hell knows? The sky's the limit, man, because it's just so mind-blowing what's about to hit the balance sheet. And that's all Wall Street cares about, is when it hits the balance sheet. You know, we're the fans, right? We're the retail. We're the guys owning the cars. We're driving around. We see it, you know, and that's our advantage, I think, in this whole thing, right? We have this one little opportunity of advantage, you know, that we can beat everybody to the punch. So why would you give that up? You know, so I think SpaceX is going to be a crazy IPO. I'm going to try to get pre-IPO shares, because why the hell not? You know, if I don't get any, you know, you've got to put in an order at your brokerage. They've allocated 30% of the shares to retail investors, which is 3 times the normal amount. You know, so there's a good chance if you put in an order, you'll probably get a few shares. It's going to moon out in like a day or two, I think, because of all the hype. And who knows what it does after that. You know, historically, IPOs after 6 months, they tend to come back down when the insiders can sell. You know, I'm definitely watching it. I mean, if it's volatile, like I think it will be, you know, I might nibble at some point if I don't get a pre-IPO. But I'm just saying, I'm not selling my Tesla shares to buy SpaceX right now. It's just too soon for that. I think, again, you know, do whatever you want. I don't care. But, I mean, Tesla is here. Like, it's happening. You know, this is something that you can take to the bank, right? It's like the stuff is coming out. The technology is there. It's going to hit the balance sheet any day now. You know, SpaceX is doing a lot of amazing things. It will execute. You know, it's got a lot of lofty goals. You know, you're betting on Elon. I mean, damn, I'm betting the farm on Elon. I'm good with that. That's a bet I'm comfortable making. You know what I mean? I think eventually there's a lot of talk of Tesla SpaceX merger. At this time, I don't love that, to be honest with you. I'd have to really give it some thought if it came up for shareholder vote. I don't know. I would give it some thought. You know what I mean? I'd have to see what that would look like. It's hard to definitively say yes or no without seeing what that looks like, what the implications are. But just at a 30,000 foot view, you know, if you take two things and you put them together, it inherently creates a discount, you know? Whereas if they're separate entities and they're running on their own, they kind of, they're worth more, if that makes sense. And right now, Tesla is in execution mode. So I personally think if we combined, Tesla would get the worst discount. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'd have to see what that would look like. And I think it may eventually happen. And there's a lot of reasons why I think it's good. There's reasons why I think it's bad, like I just said. But overall, I'm pretty confident that it will happen. But in the meantime, this is going to be the biggest, most craziest IPO ever. Enjoy the show. You know, amazing company. You know, like, you got to give it to them, man. Like, they built SpaceX from nothing. Dude almost went bankrupt. Elon literally sold PayPal for $180 million, I think in 2002. Took $100 million of that and started SpaceX. Almost lost it all. You know, bought Tesla around the same time. You know what I mean? And almost lost it all on Tesla. And now look where he is, you know? I mean, that's like once in a century talent. That's not even generational talent. That's a multi-generational talent. You know what I mean? So definitely, see right here, it always wants to take a right on this street, which is insane. It's the directions. That's like the one little glitch in the matrix with this still. You know, but Tesla didn't write the map. They use open source mapping. But yeah, so that's where I'm at with this, guys. I'm excited about the IPO. I'm definitely going to try to get some pre-IPO shares. I'm not selling Tesla. If you have a decent amount of Tesla, buy a car. Go buy a Model Y, buy a Model 3, get the full self-driving, and live with it. And I promise you, you're going to feel like you don't have enough stock. That's it. All right, guys. Looking forward to the IPO. Take it easy. Hopefully we all learn something together. Comment below what's your plans. And, you know, if you're selling your Tesla to ride the SpaceX IPO, make your case in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Maybe we can do a video together and debate it, because I'm looking for the counter argument. You know, maybe I'm missing something. All right, guys, later.